Okay, there are 80% of the people are clueless about what they want, but I'm talking about the 20% who are worried about the personal brand right at an early age. The 80% is still going to follow the herd mentality and go behind few things which the herd wants. But if we are speaking to the 20% of people who are serious about it, they, we need to give some guidance. As professionals in the ecosystem, we have a responsibility to guide these students so that they pursue their professional in a very meaningful, purposeful way, and they enjoy their life and they stick onto it, and they contribute to the organization. The organization grows, flourishes, and hence the overall economy and the country. So there is a larger purpose all of us also have, in terms of guiding and contributing back to the ecosystem from which we came. We all can keep cursing the education system that we came from, and we being clueless, we being not guided. Today, thanks to all these avenues and tools, today's students have more exposure, more guidance, so they can utilize it better. So that's primarily the point one. And if you look at it, there are a lot of tools available in the market where you can assess yourself in advance. So we work with India's largest assessment company called Meritrack. They have a tool for the engineering student or the law student or the commerce student. From first year, there is an assessment done, and you are given like a blood report. You're given a report as to who you are today. So now you choose what you want to. You go and build your skills based on what is your future requirement in the market, with the service provider, with the trainer you want. And then second year, again an assessment is done on you to show you who you are today. And eventually, this all this data that comes, which is psychology led, which is assessing your personality and giving you a real time picture of who you are and where you have traversed from point A to point B. In 4 years, you've got 4 reports, and use that content to write your profile. Now your profile is very comprehensive, very so comprehensive that it attracts the recruiter. So now you worked on yourself very meticulously. Forget about the first 4 years. The next 4 years in your job also, you will have enough clarity where I want to go, because that's one of the questions that is asked in your interview, saying what are your plans in the next few years. If the candidate was very clear and it aligns with the organization's vision, the recruiter has wants to hire that person at a higher cost, and giving all the flexibility and preference to that candidate over the rest 20 who they are recruiting.
See, I just want to add the fact that you said start early, but obviously, when we were obvious students, we didn't have a clarity of where it was just about getting a job that was important. And I don't think much has changed. People still want a job and a brand or a company that they go first, and then about the skills, etc. If they had such wisdom, then they would not be necessarily where they are. They would have done much better. But then the point is, it's not important to know where you want to go. It's important, or what you are. It's not important. What is more important is what you are not. You should know what you don't want to be. That is enough. At least you will narrow it down to things that you can do.
Yeah.
So personally speaking, I am an instrumentation engineer. But by the fourth year, I was very clear I don't want to be in process control or factory or shop floor, things like that. So you're finally an engineering company or an engineering degree only grooms you up into an analysis. Then your mind is trained to think like that, etc. Uh, but it's not necessary. If you go today in IIM or anywhere else, 50% students who come from engineering background have very different engineering, metallurgical engineering, etc. So as long as you're clear about where your skills lie and where your heart is, that should be important. So you rule out things that you don't want to be.
Correct.
And in my case, I was fairly clear that I'm a people's person. I want to be talking to people, not stuck in a shop floor. So sales was one obvious choice. But and I'm talking of era when Wipro was the only computer company, HCL and Wipro. There was no Microsoft. Windows was still to be launched, 1991. So network was the typewriter. Selling typewriters that time was a big thing. You are like a classy IT guy when you're selling a typewriter. So don't laugh, man. That's my past.
Okay. I'm
So
not laughing at your past. I'm
yeah.
just laughing
No,
at how
but
soon
93
things.
when Microsoft announced Windows and that DOS thing went out. I mean, forget about what you learn or what was there. We were taught Fortran, Pascal, etc. in engineering. Okay, even in instrumentation, you have to cover these computer languages. Even that time, there was no scope for a Fortran or Pascal. When you come out of the institute, you realize the real world needs a lot more different, which is why this new curriculums, etc., have come up. But if you, the good ones will find what they're good at. What's your skill? If you can find that, great. If you can't, at least find what you're not good at. That's also important, and therefore you will narrow it down to which companies, what kind, what you want to do in life. So I was embarrassingly lucky. Embarrassing because I did engineering. I come from a family where parents were both PhD guides, and suddenly they think that I paid for all this engineering and you want to go and sell some typewriters, man. What the hell? So it was a look down for them. But I knew what I'm doing. It was easy. And then I knew that the next step would be about understanding what management and marketing is. So I went and took a competitive exam, got through an MBA, and that's how I figured out what I need to do. And I guess most people do that today also. So my advice is simple: just make sure that you are aware of what you want to do. If you can't figure that out, just be sure where you are most uncomfortable in.
So, as in, Mathingi just, leading that way, right? In STEM, women are still very less.
In
In STEM, in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, women are still very less, right? So, because of this, for a woman, it is a little more challenging because, it's perceived that men are numbers guys and women are people person and all of that. That, notion is kind of fading away. But that said, for women who want to be in tech, what are the ways in which they should put themselves out so that they are identified, handpicked, or what are the active things doing?
Yeah, so I think you're right on the perception, right? That is the common perception that is there. And you see, certain times it's conscious bias and certain times it's unconscious bias. Though we can do a lot about conscious bias, unconscious bias takes a lot of time to overcome, and that plays a significant role in career growth.